Genya tries to crawl towards his arms to attempt to reattach them as Kokushibo says that he has no reason to allow a fake demon like him to live and begins to slice at his head. Suddenly, Kokushibo is intercepted by Sanemi Shinazugawa, performing wind breathing, fourth form rising dust storm. Kokushibo immediately retreats backward and recognizes Sanemi as the Wind Hashira. Sanemi declares that he is the wind that will rip off Kokushibo's head. Genya whispers to his brother, who roughly responds by calling Genya a pathetic little brother. Sanemi tells him that the reason he went so far as to kill their own mother was that he wanted to protect Genya. Flashing back to a conversation he had with Tanjiro during his Hashira training, Genya remembers that Tanjiro told him he could not smell a tinge of hatred towards Genya. Tanjiro had told him that he did not need to be afraid of his brother because Sanemi had loved him the entire time. Sanemi continues, telling Genya that he should have lived a normal life until he reaped a ripe old age and attempted to make his wife and children happy in return for all the happiness that had been taken from them, their siblings, and their mother. Sanemi tells him that he would not have let a single demon get near Genya no matter what. Tears well up as he apologizes to his brother. Meanwhile, Kokushibo feels nostalgic upon seeing a pair of demon slayer brothers. Enraged, Sanemi curses at Kokushibo and lunges forward to attack. As Kokushibo slices at him, Sanemi ducks and slides between Kokushibo's legs, catching the demon's foot and flipping him over. Sanemi then launches wind breathing, first form dust whirlwind cutter at the upper rank without pause. Sanemi matches blades with Kokushibo, who finally draws his sword out for all to see, a grotesque blade with eyes and veins running down the side of its length. Sanemi notes how disgusting the sight of it truly is. Chapter 166 ends. Chapter 167. Chapter 167 begins. Sanemi and Kokushibo go blade to blade as the upper moon unleashes moon breathing, fifth form moon spirit, calamitous eddy. The Wind Hashira manages to dodge, noting that Kokushibo is able to repeat his slashes without even moving his blade. Sanemi prepares to counterattack, dashing forward. He performs wind breathing, third form clean storm wind tree and clashes with Kokushibo but is unable to damage the upper rank. Impressed, Kokushibo praises Sanemi's physical capabilities, knowing that they are at their peak. The Hashira is silently awestruck by the demon's own prowess, analyzing Kokushibo's attacks and seeing that each slash is accompanied by smaller crescent-shaped blades that change their size randomly over time. Sanemi gets excited at Kokushibo's skill, thrilled, and calls him a demon worth killing. Launching wind breathing, second form claws purifying wind, Sanemi charges forward. As Kokushibo deflects his attack, he looks up and sees the Wind Hashira about to slice down at him, and blocks the blow. Suddenly, Sanemi goes straight for Kokushibo's neck with Genya's sword, maneuvering the blade with his right foot. The upper moon narrowly evades. The two continue to battle, with Sanemi matching Kokushibo blow for blow, much to the demon's delight. The intense combat begins to take its toll on Sanemi, however, as the Wind Hashira finally slips up and narrowly misses the tip of his swing, missing death by a small margin. Kokushibo reminisces over old battles, thinking back to a fight he had with the previous Wind Hashira back in the Sengoku era and how both of them had improved their swordsmanship by fighting in a similar manner. Suddenly, launching moon breathing, sixth form perpetual night, lonely moon, Kokushibo manages to slice Sanemi's chest and even cuts off all of the surrounding pillars in the room with his attack. With blood spilling from his chest, Sanemi stands up straight and finds slashes running alongside his torso. Kokushibo praises the enemy's skill for having kept up with him for so long but tells him that if he moves now, his organs will spill out. Suddenly, Sanemi tenses up as his pulse begins to race, puzzled by the sudden change. He begins to chuckle as he sees that the effect of his rare blood has even begun to work on an upper rank. With a smirk, he lashes forward and attacks Kokushibo, taunting the demon and gloating that his rare blood makes demons drunk off the smell of it. As he begins to counterattack in earnest, the battle continues. Chapter 167 ends. Chapter 168. Chapter 168 begins with the Wind Hashira. Chapter 168 recounts how Sanemi first learned about the special quality of his blood and reflects on the night his mother became a demon. He noted that her movements had become duller after his blood had spilled and deduced that she had gotten drunk off the smell of it. Afterward, Sanemi began hunting demons on his own, relying on his blood to disorient them enough to restrain, and then quickly burn them in the sun. This was difficult, as he had become partially blind after killing his mother. He later realized that this had been a reckless endeavor, and he had been incredibly lucky to get through it unscathed. One day, while hunting for a demon, Sanemi ran into a demon slayer named Masachika Kumo, who was also hunting the same demon. This was when Sanemi learned of the actual existence of the demon slayer corps and decided to join them. He and Masachika became friends and even defeated lower rank one while working together. However, Masachika was fatally wounded in the fight against the lower rank and ended up dying, leaving Sanemi as the only one to become a Hashira as a result of their victory. Back in the fight against Kokushibo, Sanemi unleashes wind breathing, 6th form Black Wind Mountain Mist, which the upper rank narrowly dodges. Shocked to see Sanemi capable of fighting, Kokushibo guesses that the Hashira is squeezing his muscles to prevent his organs from spilling out and solidifying his blood with his breaths to stem the bleeding. Impressed with Sanemi's immense skill, Kokushibo notes that this is a feat no ordinary human could achieve and begins trading blows with him. The Wind Hashira keeps pushing Kokushibo back, but the demon suddenly stomps down on his blade, preventing him from moving it, and then attempts to behead Sanemi. Flashing back to when he first became a Hashira, still raw from his sadness over Masachika's death, Sanemi recalls his Hashira meeting when they had first laid eyes on Kagaya Ubuyashiki. Sanemi had boiled with rage at seeing someone who was smiling while people were suffering at the hands of demons, hurling verbal abuse at Oyakata and saying he only saw the demons' slayers as pawns. Sanemi had immediately earned the ire of his fellow Hashira with his disrespect. Gom had approached him, but Kagaya assured the Hashira it was all right before things could escalate further, and then addressed Sanemi directly. Kagaya told him that he had wished to fight with their blade himself, but was never able to do more than 10 swings before his pulse went wild and he had to stop. He continued, saying that if the demon slayers were pawns, then he was nothing more than a pawn who moved them around as well. Kagaya told Sanemi that even if he died, nothing would change as he already had successors. Oyakata said that since this was Sanemi's first Hashira meeting and that he probably just had a misunderstanding, to treat him however he wished and to focus on protecting people's lives as a Hashira. Kagaya continued, saying that it was his fault for calling Sanemi so soon after Masachika had died, as they had been as close as brothers. Sanemi was dumbfounded to hear this and realized that Oyakata knew Masachika's actual name. After this, Kocho told him that Kagaya had actually memorized all of the names of every single demon slayer. Sanemi was shocked and looked in awe as Kagaya got up and informed them of Masachika's will, saying that the will of most demon slayers would be similar. Kagaya handed over Masachika's will to Sanemi, and the boy tearfully read it. It told him that demon slayers would always want their loved ones to live with their smiles and to not die unnatural deaths at the hands of demons. Remembering these moments, Sanemi pulls out a pistol and blocks Kokushibo's blade with the underside of it before firing straight at the demon's face. Kokushibo defiantly blocks the bullets with his blade and then unleashes Moon Breathing, 3rd form Lonesome Moon Chains. Sanemi vanishes from the range of the attack, and Kokushibo exasperatedly remarks that the demon slayers just keep on coming as he sees Gyomei, the strongest demon slayer, has arrived. Chapter 168 ends. Chapter 169 begins with Gyomei telling Sanemi to stitch up his stomach wound, assuring him that he would distract the demon to allow him to do so. Gyomei agrees and apologizes for getting into such a state. If you liked my video, then consider subscribing my channel, thank you.